Good morning. Good Monday morning. Hello, Barbara. Hello, everyone. It is Monday, the first day of the week. We're going to do some exciting stuff. This is the day that you get to forget everything that happened in the past, except, of course, the good things. I want you to always remember the good things, all the lessons we learned, and all the successes we've had. Monday starts a new week, and we promise ourselves that this week will be better than last week. Today will be better than yesterday. Today is the first day of the rest of our lives, and we want to continue to keep moving forward. And in doing so, I want you to always remember we are always selling. And what I mean by that is whether we're trying to convince our family that Alien is a family fun rom-com, or if we're watching that sign spinner dance to music that he can only hear, we are always selling. And if you're not having fun, you're selling too hard. That's my message every Monday morning on the Diamond Factor Experience. And today, I've got something very special. I want to talk a little bit about family and friends. But before we get into that, it's that time is coming. That time is coming, and I think everyone out there knows what I'm talking about. I want you to really think about it. That scary time, just thinking about it makes my palms a little sweaty. The lockdown is just about over. People are coming back out on the street, and soon they'll be coming to your porch. Soon they'll be knocking on the door. Soon they'll be scratching at the door and ringing that doorbell. Now, I'm not talking about family and friends. I'm looking forward to getting back together with my family and friends. I love my friends, and I love most of my family, but I'm looking forward to getting back together with them. But I'm talking about those creatures that come, that it used to be only one time a year, and now it seems like it's a consistent roll. They're climbing up your driveway, and you can hear them, that horrific sound in the distance. Mr. Jalove, Mr. Jalove, Marty, would you like to buy some cookies? Yeah, I'm talking about all those kids in the neighborhood that are constantly coming to the door. I open my door sometimes, and there's a long line of scouts who are saying, buy cookies, buy popcorn. It's going on and on and on. We're inundated by this. And although it gets scary, how can you say no to those precious faces? I am constantly just saying, sure, yeah, what are you selling? Okay, I'll buy from you. How can you pass a lemonade stand where a little kid is sitting there with a big smile on his face and you're buying a cup of lemonade? They're selling, let's say, cookies for the scouts, popcorns for the scouts. They're saving money for a trip with a band. The marching band is selling macaroni and cheese. The other kids are selling poinsettias or wrapping paper. Everyone is selling something. All of those kids are after those few bucks that are in your pocket. And of course, you can't say no because we love them. We love those little kids. The question is, why is it that we're buying from them so regularly and so easily? Now, last week, what we did was I covered the 5 reasons that people don't buy from you. And I hope you remember them from last week. It was no desire, no need, no value, no hurry, and no trust. These are the 5 things that why they wouldn't buy from you. Now, when you think about those little kids come to our door and they knock on the door and they go, oh, hi, Mr. Jalove. I'm selling cookies today. We're trying to raise money for a big trip for our band or our soccer team. Okay. Well, there's no desire for those cookies. I mean, I like cookies. Who doesn't like cookies? But those particular cookies, not necessarily. What I'm going to do is I want to go to the store and get the cookies that I really like. So I don't have any great desire for those cookies. A need? No, I definitely don't need those cookies. For those of you who've seen the rest of me, you realize I've probably had 1 or 2 cookies more than I deserved. So no, I don't need cookies. Is it a value? Is there a value in buying those cookies? Well, 3 cookies in a large box for $14 is probably not the best value. I mean, granted, it's going to a good cause, but it's not the greatest value as far as cookies go. So is there a hurry? Well, there's no hurry on my account. I've already got cookies in the house, and the store is not that far away, so I can always pick up cookies. Cookies are not in a rush for me. Now, the hurry is on their point, where they're saying, I've got to sell by this date in order to make enough to make it to the trip. So if those if those objections I've got and they're solid objections, why am I buying from them? And the reason is trust. Okay. A stranger coming to the door has no trust. But those little girls, those little boys, those little kids around the neighborhood, of course I trust them. I love them. I like them. We have a good time together. And I know Annabella down the street. I know Jimmy down the other way. And when he's coming there, of course, I'm going to wave hi. And if whatever he's selling, I'm going to buy. There's a trust. There's a likability there. And that's what's so important. And I want you to think about this, that the first step and the things we covered last week was these are the reasons people don't buy from you. But I want you to think about the reasons that people do buy from you. All right. Remember what I'm just saying. This is the reasons that people buy specifically from you. That's what we're going to get into. And I'm also going to talk to you about why is it that when we have those things to sell, the cupcakes, the popcorn, whatever it is, what do? We go after our friends and family first. And you know why? We do that because we know trust is already established. Trust is such an important piece. Now we learn this lesson when we're little kids because we're selling door to door and we're coming to Mr. Jalove, who will always buy the lemonade from you. Okay, so trust is a given, and we put emphasis on it. We say, because we're friendly, because you know me, you're going to buy from me. And that same lesson transfers with us as we get older and we start selling other things. Okay, we start having house parties where we're selling different direct sales items. We're selling subscriptions to something. Subscriptions is such a big thing right now. You can buy a subscription to almost anything. What about people you probably know some friends or family who sell insurance, and they're the first ones to come to you. Maybe somebody sells cars. Maybe someone sells home improvements, anything like that. Who are the first people they come to when they start that new sales job? They always come to friends and family. And the reason being is the greatest hurdle is already accomplished. No, the trust hurdle, the objection about trust is already taken care of because you know each other. Hi, I'm Jimmy. I'm Uncle Ben's great cousin. And he told me, Marty, I should come and talk to you. Okay. So obviously there's a little trust there because I kind of know him. And now it's up to him to kind of beat these other objections. But he knows deep down in his heart, I'm going to buy from him because I like him, because I'm supposed to. I feel obligated to buy from him. Knowing that, I am urging you as a young salesperson to overcome that, because you can't build an empire. You can't build a career over selling to your friends and family. You've got to break away from them and sell to some other people. You've got to get away from them. And in fact, I ask you, don't even start with your friends and family, because when those little kids come to my house and they say, I've got cookies to sell, I pull up my little kid and go, you know what? My kid's got cookies to sell too. If you buy cookies from her, I'll buy cookies from you. That's what ends up happening. It's a wash. You're going to buy from me. I'm going to buy from you. Everyone in the neighborhood is buying from each other. That's the one reason we should slow down on the friends and family. Granted, friends and families is great for those kids when they're first learning to get over that fear of selling. And it's important that they do that and they meet up with friendly people. But it's got to be a soft sell where they say, look, I am selling cookies or popcorn or wrapping paper or macaroni and cheese or poinsettias or whatever it is for whatever the event is or the ultimate goal. But we should soft sell to people and saying, so if you're interested, please let me know. But it's not a hard sell. The second reason we should slow down selling to our family and friends is because after a while, we're going to start alienating each other. Okay. Now I sit there and I know that I can hide behind that curtain. I can board up the windows and the doors. Those kids are going to continue to come. And as they come, I'm going to continue to buy from them. But what ends up happening is when we're adults and we're getting together as friends or we're getting together as family, if all you come to the party with is a persuasive pitch, eventually you're going to stop being invited to the parties. And I want you to really think about that, because when you stop getting invited to those parties, that's when you're not having fun. And when you're not having fun, It's because you're selling too hard. So you say, okay, Marty, I kind of understand that, but you know what? That friends and family, they create the base for me, for my sales as I move forward. Yes, I understand that, but you don't want to crush that base. So we're going to go through right now the 6 reasons people buy directly from you. Now we've covered the 5 reasons people don't buy in general, but now let's find out once I have a desire for your product and I have a need for your product and I see value in your product, and maybe there's a rush or I feel some type of a deadline, so there is a hurry to buy your product, and I kind of trust you. It's not just that. It's still really easy for someone to go, no, thank you. So what you need to do is, aside from cover these objections, you've got to go to the next step, and that is finding the reasons that people buy directly from you. Let's jump right into that. These are the 6 factors of why people buy from you. The 6 factors of why they buy directly from you, not from someone else. When all things are equal, remember, when all things are equal and I can buy the exact same product for the exact same price from someone else, why do I want to buy from you? Why are they willing to open up their wallet to you? So let's get into it. The first one, F, fondness. In other words, they like you. There's something about you. Of course, I'm not going to say no to those kids in the neighborhood because I like them. I see them every day. Okay, they're just good kids. I trust them. Now, notice, it's not just about that they're coming to the door and saying, hey, I'm selling this. Because have you ever noticed when you get a stranger in the neighborhood, a kid who you've never seen knocks on the door, for a moment, there's some hesitation where you're like, why are you in my neighborhood? What are you selling? Why are you selling here? Why aren't you selling in your own neighborhood? Trust is eliminated. I'm not saying I don't buy from them. I still end up giving them a few bucks and buy their candy bar. Okay. But fondness or likability is the first thing. And that's early on. You want to establish that. So when you're talking to your customers or your potential customers, I want you to establish a relationship of likability. Get them to like you, to understand you. Find some commonality so that you become friends or somewhat like friends. Man, if you can come to the point where they treat you as family, then again, it's just like selling to friends and family. So you want to have that kind of strong relationship where these people trust and they like you. That's number 1. And you can see this in everything we sell. When you see, the first thing we do is we shake someone's hand. We put a big smile on our face because we're obviously a friendly person. That's all about creating that fondness or that likability. Next, A, authority. So often we don't want to make the decision as a purchaser. I don't want to go through all the homework of getting 13 estimates and taking a look at this and talking to all these different salesmen and trying to figure out what's going on. So what I'm looking for sometimes that makes me feel at ease, eliminates my stress, is buying from an authority figure. That's why you see so many celebrity endorsements, because suddenly if I love George Clooney and he is hacking a certain product, I'm going to go, well, George says it's good, then I'm going to buy it too. Okay. But better than that is somebody who's a true, a person who's an expert in that field. And you sit there going, well, if that doctor says this, then of course I'm going to buy it. There was a chewing gum that said 9 out of 10 dentists recommend this chewing gum. Well, that was a perfect way of looking at authority to say, well, if those dentists said it was good, then it's got to be good. And I'm not saying the dentist said anything negative about the other chewing gum, but it was easy to make that choice because there was authority there. And I could sit there and say, oh, this makes sense. Yes, they said it's good, so it's got to be good. It takes some of the pressure off of me, and I could easily make the buying decision just based on what those dentists had said. Next, consistency. It follows into that same thing. We don't want to get into the point of having to make a decision on every single day. So we have a tendency to buy the same product over and over and over again. Think about it. How often do you switch toilet paper? Maybe now and then, but after you find a particular type of toilet paper, you stick with this on a regular basis. You buy maybe eggs on a regular basis. You buy paper towels on a regular basis. There's lots of things we buy on a regular basis. We get our hair cut at the same place. Yes, I actually pay people to cut my hair, but we get haircuts at the same place because there's a consistency there. It feels comfortable. I would hate to live in a world that every single time I make any type of purchase decision, I have to sit there and stress over it from the beginning. Nobody wants that. They say, I found a brand, I found somebody that's likable, someone I can trust, that I want to continue to buy from. So when you're selling, what you want to do is, aside from creating that fondness, okay, and that likability between you and your customer, you also want to become the authority on that product, so that people go, yes, I trust him. So if he says to buy this, that's what I'm going to buy. And then consistency, create an atmosphere that they can buy your product on a regular basis, over and over and over again. That's why those kids come every year. And I know I've got to buy cookies every single year. I know I'm going to buy popcorn every single year. It goes over and over like a cycle. And the consistency makes it easier to buy year after year after year. Next, testimonials. Kind of like authority, but testimonials are a little closer. It's that social proof. Those people who are similar to us who are doing it. So we go, well, if they're doing it, then I'm going to do it. Recently, I put in a new garage door. And the reason I picked this particular company was because a neighbor of mine just put in a garage door and he raved about it. So I said, I'm going to do the exact same garage door, the exact same place. It saved me a lot of time and it made me feel stress-free because that person already went through all of the research. Now, later I found out that he didn't actually go through the research. He bought it because someone else bought it. And that person bought it because someone else bought it. But no matter how it got to me, I felt comfortable because that company got positive testimonials. It was friends who recommended them. Now, it goes beyond just that. It goes beyond just friends actually recommending it. It comes to the people in our social group, people that we make a connection with, people we view as peers. So if you ever go to a restaurant and you look at one restaurant, there's no line, it's empty. And another restaurant, there's a line going into it, and the restaurant seems full. Which restaurant do you want to go to? You want to go to the one that's packed. Sure, you might end up going to the empty one because you want to eat right away because you're in a hurry. But in the back of your mind, you're always thinking, what do those people know that I don't know? So that type of social proof, those testimonials, whether they are actual verbal testimonials or they are visual testimonials that you see people doing certain things, that leads us to make a purchasing decision. Now, I hope you can see there's a pattern going on throughout here that everything is, we're looking for ways to make our purchasing or our buying decisions easier. And as a consumer, if I'm trying to make my buying decisions easier, then it's easy to say that a salesperson who helps make my buying decisions easier by following these buying decisions, he's going to be more successful. He's going to sell more. He's definitely going to sell to me because he's able to find all these things. He's able to be likable, someone I can like and get along with and look forward to seeing. He's an authority figure that I say, I trust him. He's somebody who really knows what he's talking about. It's a consistent thing. I'm going, look, I'm not interested in changing who I buy from. I always like buying from this guy. Testimonials, other people I know buy from him, so why wouldn't I buy from him? Can you imagine just building that, how strong your customer relation is now, how difficult it is for competition to come in and take that customer if you've got all that going for you. Now you add in a little bit more. O is for out of stock. In other words, a scarcity. You're running out of product. In other words, that's saying if you don't do it right now, you won't get this anymore. Marty, these cookies, I've got to sell them this week. If you don't order them this week, then they're done. Please buy the cookies from me. Well, by putting that urgency in there, it does a psychological change in our mind where we say, okay, all right, logic gets thrown to the wind and we buy the product. So if you can add that out of stock, that we're almost running out, we don't know if we're ever going to get it back in again while supplies last. We see that all the time. That urges people to make the decision immediately. And like I said, it throws that logic out and we make those emotional buying decisions. Lastly is reciprocation, R. How comfortable it is for us to buy. If I'm selling something, I'm going to buy from you. If you're selling something, I'll buy from you as long as you buy from me. We go back and forth. You see it in business all the time that certain companies sell a product to a company and they buy something in return from them. Maybe packaging to a specific product goes back and forth because they made a solid relationship, and they kind of feel as long as our relationship is reciprocal like that, it'll continue to grow. And it's really difficult if you're selling something to someone to suddenly stop buying from them and say, I'm no longer going to buy from you. I'm going to buy from someone else, because then it's really easy for them to walk away from you. Okay, so I want you to think about this as you go through the entire list. I want you to think about how you specifically, and like always, I want you to look at the general idea, okay, the general atmosphere of the product you're selling. And let's get back down to Annabella selling those cookies. Let's get to that general product of, do I need cookies? Okay, is there a reason I need cookies, generally speaking? Then do I need those Scout cookies? Is it more specific until finally, do I need the Scout cookies from her? Okay, that's what you're going to do. That's how you're building the sale. You're starting off very general and you're making it more and more specific. And she's going to go through all of these. Fondness. She's the cute little girl from down the street who's always nice and always pleasant, saying, hello, Marty, how are you? Okay, so when she's ready to sell cookies, I'm going to buy from her. Is she an authority figure? No, she's not necessarily an authority figure, but she really goes out of her way to pitch those cookies and she knows everything about them. Okay. Is there some consistency? Yes, I can always count on her to knock on my door year after year after year, selling those same cookies. I can't wait till she gets old enough and so she can stop doing it. But until then, she's going to keep doing that. And once she goes, I know another little girl is going to take her place, selling the exact same Scout cookies. Testimonials. Yes. You've heard it all the time about how wonderful it is to buy those cookies from these kids and how it helps them in so many different ways. Not only helps them raise money for the event that they're going to have, but it also just teaches them how to get out of their shells and go out and talk to people. The scarcity, the out of stock. Yeah, there's a very limited time you've got to buy. If I don't buy now, then I miss out on it for an entire year. So that's fantastic. In fact, and then lastly is reciprocation. I'm going to go to Annabella's parents and say, you know what, my kids are also selling something. So, you know, I bought the stuff from Annabella. You might as well buy from me as well. Okay, so what goes around comes around, and it just continues a regular cycle. So what I want you to do is I want you to really think about this and enjoy this. Don't fake this. Really enjoy this. Become that likable person, okay? And you will become a more successful salesperson. Remember, like I said, if you're not having fun doing it, you're selling too hard, okay? Now, as I always do every week, I give you a little form, a little worksheet, a homework assignment that I want you to work on. And this homework assignment is based on these 6 factors for making you a better salesperson. Now, the sheet looks something like this, and I've got it right here. All right. And what it's broken down into is the 6 factors. Fondness, remember, likability, authority. Are you the authority? Are you the person that I can go to for advice? And do I trust you that you know a lot about that product? Consistency. Okay, is this something that I need on a regular basis? Okay, that's why, again, you see subscriptions on everything. I see this thing of like a man product, a box I could get every month delivered with just manly products. Okay, I have entered into the Bacon of the Month Club. There is the Fruit of the Month Club, Flower of the Month Club. There's all kinds of consistency that comes on a regular basis. I get my hair cut at the exact same place all the time. Consistency is something that feels good. After that, testimonials. Are people speaking up for you? Are people saying, yeah, this is the person you want to buy from? This is what I want you to really concentrate on. The scarcity, out of stock. Do I have to buy right now? Create that so this way you take the logic out of their head momentarily. So they go, well, I've been teetering. Should I buy? Should I buy? I don't know. Oh my God, we're running out. Yes, let's buy it. That's what you want to do. And then lastly is reciprocation. And that is, I'm doing for you, you're doing for me. This is why so often companies do a lot of hard work. They donate money because they seem like good companies. And they're doing this, so I should do something for them. All of that's really important. Now, of course, you're going to say, all right, Marty, how do I get the sheet? As always, if you go to my site, which is up here, masterhappiness.com, The Secret. So masterhappiness.com/The Secret, all one word. you will get a page like this. And you're going to see in the top corner here is this picture, always reminding you that you're going to find me here on the Diamond Factor Experience, probably the best station you're ever going to visit. Okay, every Monday morning at 8 a.m. I'm going to try to give you another hint on helping you sell not only your product and service, but those things inside you, your heart, and sell yourself. So that's what this box is going to be. And down here, you're going to see a little diamond. Okay, that's a secret that only you and I know about. Okay, you only know about that diamond because you watched the Diamond Factor Experience. And that diamond, when you click on that, you'll be able to get this form. And I'm telling you, get the form now because it only lasts up, it sits up there for 1 week only, and then it comes down, and next week there'll be a different form based on what I'm talking about. And that's the scarcity that I'm talking about. That form is only up there. You've got to look at it this week. Otherwise, it runs out. If you need some of the other forms or you want to talk about some of the things that went in the past, contact me directly. You can find all my information, masterhappiness.com, The Secret. You can find it always there. Okay, little kids attacking a little old woman trying to sell her cookies. No matter what's going on, if you are not having fun, you are selling too hard. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Back to you, Barbara. Hello, Barbara. Are you there, Barbara?
Life is so fragile, and we're constantly reminded just how fragile life can be, especially when we or a loved one is told we have cancer. Cancer survivor myself, I can tell you, we still feel very alone in this journey.
There's a study that's been showing that patients who are socially isolated have a worse prognosis, have a worse outcome than patients who are socially interconnected.
Buddies for Life is a non-profit cancer support group for those whose life has been impacted by cancer. We'll match you with the perfect buddy. Humor, hope, heart, and hugs.
Humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a whole lot of love.
We're offering you a free membership, so please sign up today. Share this with your friends and family, and support this community in every way you can. No one should face cancer alone.
I am a chemo buddy for life.
We are a buddies network.
No one does cancer alone.
Be a buddy.
And we are all here for you as a community of love.
We are chemo buddies for life.
And if you've heard 3 words, you have cancer, for yourself or someone else, you belong with us at Chemo Buddies for Life.
Healing through connections.
Good morning, everybody. It is Monday. As Mr. Master Happiness told us, Mondays are a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. It's the beginning of the week. It's a fresh start. You know, you can kind of say, you know what? I loved last week. It was wonderful last week, but now I need to move forward. I got to keep moving, keep moving. So thank you, Marty, for coming on as always. Excuse me, and giving us some more tips about selling and marketing. And like he said, if you're feeling kind of like or whatever about selling and all that kind of stuff, then you're not doing it the right way. Believe me, I've been there. Sometimes I go there when I'm doing my own services and products, and I'm all of a sudden I said, I don't want to sound like a car salesman. And I know they get a bad rap. They really do. They really do. But sometimes, you know those salespeople at the dealership. It's like forever, like, please just leave me alone. I don't want to. Yeah, I mean, you get to the point where you're like, okay, I don't even want to buy a car now because you're in my face. Has anybody ever felt like that? I hope this is not me. But yeah, I love how Marty takes all that away and makes it so much easier and ease to sell. And it was funny. I was just laughing when he was talking about people, every year we had to, we got the popcorn, children with the popcorn and the candy bars, and I mean, and the list goes on. And then you feel obligated sometimes because you'd be like, well, there's children that, they're starting, fresh to understand how to make money and, help, because a lot of times because of their school or because of charity. So, you feel as an adult, you're like, I got to do this, But then when Marty said, then you see somebody come to your doorstep, and it's not you haven't seen this child before. It's like, okay, where did you come from? Why can't you sell in your own neighborhood? I was cracking up behind the scenes because they happened to be a few times. I'm like, okay, I haven't seen this child before. What's going on? Now they're coming from, so doesn't each neighborhood should have a time where they need to help the children within their neighborhood. Now they're going outside the box. But I was laughing at it, but then I was thinking about it on a positive note to say that particular child is awesome because they're branching out. See, when you think about that, they're branching out. They're going above their neighborhood. They're like, you know what? I know I can see more sales, so that's why they go out. So I thought that was kind of nice. So now we're going to go into on the second half of the show. Is, as I said last week, there's been a Queen Diamond 2 weeks ago. Pat Kerner passed 2 weeks ago. Unfortunately, it was a car accident. Her and her mother was in the car, and the impact hit, and they died instantly that Sunday eve. It was probably that Sunday afternoon when I got the call from my other good friend, Barbara Ellison. And so I want to take the time out, and this is probably going to be maybe all this week, that I want to honor her. Because she was just such a wonderful, wonderful person to the point where she knew her stuff. I mean, she would help business. She had the wisdom and that knowledge. And you're talking about sales. You would buy so much from Pat because she was just that type of person that would give you extra. And you'd be like, in your mind, you're like, oh, you know what? I want to work with you. I want to collaborate with you because you are just like incredible. And it's truly a hard miss. But, as I always say, anybody that passes away in our lives, we have to look at it as, okay, we're sad, we go through the the motions of it and the tears and the pain of it, but I always say the individual that passed wouldn't want us to just stay stagnated, especially Pat with a driven force of helping businesses and getting them financially, talking about the finance about them, talking about the strategic. I mean, she was there doing all the different ways on how to help, an organization if they needed help. So I just want to, so what I'm going to do this morning is I want to play the last clip. Now there's another show that I have called, that comes on Tuesday under the Diamond Factor group, Facebook group, and it's called To Share Happy. I'm going to get my words out. Well, it's called The Happiness Show. And me and a co-host, Barbara Ellis, has that show together. We come on every Tuesday. Well, this one particular Tuesday, we had the pleasure of having Pat on the show. It was a few months ago. And I pulled it and I said, this would be so much of an honor to play that, just to kind of hear her voice again. And so you could all hear how genius and the gifts that she had in her. So that's what I want to do now. So let me first I want to play the memorial video of her, and then after that, I'm going to play the episode that we had with Pat. So here we go.
Today it's a Pat and Barb show.
Everybody, this morning, Tuesday, we are here, and you see we have 3 people instead of 2 this morning, which is even better. This is our happiness one-on-one show with the BBs, as we call each other.
Yes,
Barbara.
we are.
But we're going to say BBP.
BBP. BBP.
With Mrs. Pat this morning, which is so awesome to have her on the show this morning. And, you know, she's been really, in fact, she's kind of been our kind of backup person too, because I know last week, since I couldn't come on due to technical challenges, she came on with Barbara, and they did an awesome, tremendous job. So thank you, Pat, for coming, sitting in for me, and you can do that any day, any day that you want.
Always a good time to chat with Barbara, let's face it.
I know, you can't help it. She just puts that smile on your face. So with that, we're going to go right into it. We have some good stuff to talk about, and Barbara, I'm going to let you kind of dig into it.
Okay. Well, you know, last week, for those of you that were listening, and welcome today. For those of you that were listening, Pat and I got on the subject of shame last week, because you know what? Happiness is so important. We absolutely want to be happy. We deserve to be happy. Unfortunately, a lot of the things that are that is keeping us from being happy is the word shame. And shame is such an uncomfortable word. It's an uncomfortable feeling. It's so uncomfortable that you don't even want to hear the word to begin with. But the thing is, though, when we keep it hidden out of our conscious awareness, you want to pretend it's not there, but that's where it absolutely lives, in the darkness, and keeps us stuck, and it continues to affect us forever until we bring it out. And it's behind that self-critical voice in your head. And shame is so personal. We've all dealt with it at one point or another. And it's a painful feeling of humiliation that you've done something wrong and that you're the only one that's done it. And how can you possibly tell anybody about it? Because it is so embarrassing to you. The thing is, though, it is also poison, absolutely poison. And it is poisoning absolutely every aspect of your life. Your happiness, your relationships, your job, your ability to earn income, everything is grounded in shame. But so we're here today to bring it out into the open, because the possibilities of opportunity is huge when you bring it out into the light. So today, this is all about getting it out into the light, exposing it, and just so that we can all just increase our happiness to the nth degree. So I'm just so excited about talking about this. I'm excited, and yet, oh brother, we're talking about shame. Because we've all done things that we do not want to have, talked about on the rooftops. But that's exactly where shame tries to keep us, is in that darkness, that we're the only ones that have ever gone through something. And so that's why, and right now I think it's such an important subject, because so much more of it is coming out, and you're hearing about it in the news of people doing crazy things.
Yeah.
Totally crazy things. Seriously crazy things.
Seriously crazy things.
And the thing is that when shame is not dealt with, it shows up as alcoholism, self-abuse, drug abuse, suicide, abusing family members and friends verbally, physically. I mean, it shows up in the worst ways, because when you don't deal with it, then it festers inside of you.
Right.
And creates this negative environment. And, as Harv Eker says, how you do anything is how you do everything. So if it's showing up in one area of your life and you're living with it in one area of your life, it's showing up in other areas. And the worst part is it shows up at the most inopportune times. I mean, think about it. Have you ever blown off or, blown up at somebody and you say, where the heck did that come from? That's
who was that screaming Mimi that just ran by?
Exactly. Who is it that's having road rage, right? I mean, this is how it shows up in people's lives. And a lot of times things happen and you don't even realize where it's come from. And so it's really important to deal with it. And yes, we all deal with shame. There are 5 different areas where shame is created. One area is an unrequited love. Where you feel rejected, where it's unrealized, and you really wanted this love of your life, and it just didn't happen. And it happens sometimes with parents. You want as a little child, you want your parents to love you so much, and for whatever reason, you feel like you're rejected. Sometimes it starts there. Other times it starts with relationships later on. I have a client right now. She and her husband have been married for 11 years, and they are just batting heads like I just can't even believe. He is so abusive to her, and he's trying to pull this business out from under her. And because of it, their relationship is falling apart, and her business is falling apart. Yeah, so it happens even as an adult. I know, it's horrible. Another area is in unwanted exposure. You go into your job or you're in class, you start as a child, right? You go in your classroom, the teacher calls on you and you get embarrassed because you don't know the answer.
Right.
It sometimes can start there. Other times it can be in your job. You have a clash with your boss and your boss called you out on something. And lo and behold.
And they publicly.
Exactly.
Yeah. Publicly call you out on something, right?
Absolutely. And you're afraid to come out and do things at that point because you're afraid it's going to happen again. Very scary. Being disappointed. You want to do something so badly and you go to do it and it doesn't happen and you become really disappointed in yourself. And sometimes you get disappointed in other people too, but you really get disappointed in yourself and you internalize that to a point where it just hurts and you don't want to try again. Another area is being left out. Say that you were in school and you weren't one of the popular kids and you feel left out, right? Exactly. It happened. It happened to most of us. When you think about it, even the popular kids at school sometimes felt left out, which is a crazy thing. So we all feel left out of something. And then not understanding or having a feeling of not knowing. So you're kind of in limbo of whether you're liked or loved.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All those areas, Pat, you hitting in some areas with me. It really resonated a lot. Yeah, it really resonated a lot.
It happens with everybody. Yeah. And the thing is, we do internalize it and we do think that we're alone in it. And we don't see that there's a way out of it. We only see that we are feeling this internal pain and, we're feeling unloved and unwanted within ourselves. Never mind what's going on with the rest of the world, which, you're dealing with that with other people, but you also feel that way with yourself. And you get to a point where you feel totally unloved and unwanted. And because of it, you're afraid, you get stopped. You're afraid to move forward with relationships, with your job, with a career, with making money. You're just afraid to move forward. It's a really important conversation because we all are there. And I'm going to challenge, if you watch my show on Monday, The Business Money Mastery, every week I challenge you to do something. This week, I'm challenging you to put in below, because I can't say, put in the comment box because Facebook doesn't like that, right? So put below where you're feeling like you're unwanted, unloved, unrequited love, expectations not met. Put there, come out and say it publicly because you're going to find you're going to get support from a lot of people who are feeling the exact same way.
Yeah. I have to tell you, yesterday, I know. Today is Tuesday. Okay, yeah, Barbara, today's Tuesday. So Sunday morning, I'm a pretty happy person. But you know what? On the other side of that is the not so happy person. And Sunday morning, and I don't normally work at the restaurant on Sunday, but I had said that I would work for one of the girls. I got there, and now I can't even remember what it was, but and I just was like pissy. and then that was just totally not me. But then it was like, okay, Barbara, let's stop. This is 8 o'clock in the morning. You're already, what is triggering this? And in that moment, I realized that one of the other people did not do what I wanted them to do. And so then it was like, all right, so what feeling did that trigger in me? That they didn't have to do what I wanted them to do. They did what they wanted to do. And right at that moment, that awareness of, oh, what was it in me? And so where did that come from? And I can remember feeling like that as a kid. And then doing things mean to my sister, my younger sister, who that was lots of times. I always felt that the attention went from my two older sisters, jumped over me and hit Debbie, to the baby of the family. And I can remember feeling that. And it was like, oh, yike. And that was exactly, and it came from the childhood. It was such a moment of awareness, and then it was like, all right, Barbara, yeah, you're gonna let this go. This is gonna, if you don't stop this right this instant, this is gonna color the entire day. Yeah. But right at that moment, it was like, oh, yike, where did this come from?
Yeah. And it's funny you said that, Barbara, because that's why I always tell people, things that happened to you in the past, good or bad or ugly, that it's good to get it out, because a lot of things stem from things that happen. Just like, I'm always talking about my stories. I tell people about their stories. And I always say this is strength. It's stepping stones of strength, because it strengthens you when you get it out there. And then it also, to add it, like I said, a little cherry on the top of it, that it helps others see that they're not alone, like Pat said.
Right. Yeah.
Everybody thinks, because I thought that too. I think we all sometimes think that, like, we're the only ones that was so embarrassed back when, when we were younger. We were the only ones that got rejected. It's like, no, when you put it out there, all of a sudden everybody's like, me. And then when you see all the me's, you're like, oh, I feel relieved just knowing that so other people went through it beside myself. And I don't know, for me, that changes. I just feel like I have to get it out, because I want to help, all of us here. I just want to help others, especially women, because we go through so different things. So if I can say, you know what? Yeah, when I was younger, I was the clown. I had a dunce cap in the corner of the room. Yeah, they talked to me, and I'll start saying all that, and they'll be like, really? I'm like, yeah. And then they're like, you know what? I kind of went through that too, and talk about a boss embarrassing you. Oh my God, I had one boss. It seemed like that was like part of their journey with me. Is like, every time I'm in a room, I'm going to call on Barbara. I don't care what. And, and at the beginning, I'd be like, like how Barbara said, be like pissy.
Yeah, you're just pissy. Yeah.
That's like, you keep picking on me. There's like 50 people in here, And then after a while, I'm like, you know what? Come and get it. Okay, you keep calling on me. And then after a while, they didn't want to call me, because I was like, but doing it in a good way, where it was showing me, it was building me up. So I look at that and I say, you know what? Something that was kind of embarrassing, whatever, turned out to be something that helped me grow into, becoming the, now I can just talk and don't feel embarrassed about it.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give you a very personal. When I was in first grade, I kissed a boy, or he kissed me, or whatever. And all the kids were around, and they totally made fun of us. And as I have, when I started dating and as I got older, I hid my relationships away from other people. Oh, wow. And I don't, even now, I don't talk about a relationship that I may be in unless it's really solid and stable and I know it's not going to go anywhere. The fun of having a relationship, except with Barb, I talked to Barb about my relationships, because I just started dating. Okay, I'm calling myself out. I started dating a month ago, and it's been years since I've dated. So, so I mean, this is a big deal for me to even say that out loud.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I mean, it caused so much shame. So the key is to really pulling out and pulling out the shame and actually dealing with it, is you have to first bring light to it.
Right.
You have to be willing to say the words. This is what's going on with me.
Where you are right now, and just be own it.
Yes, exactly. And then start untangling what you're feeling. Why is it that you're feeling the way that you're feeling? Where is this shame coming from? Like Barb too was saying, about, being a kid and feeling going back to that moment when she felt like she, did something and it created this shameful experience, right? And then unhitch what you do from who you are. And this is really important in your workplace more than anything. I mean, in your personal life as well. But who you are is not the same as the activities you produce, right? So, you may have a road rage experience, but that may not be you. It's just the experience you're living in that particular moment. So unhitch it. Make sure you understand, I'm not that person. I just behave this way. It's like when you have kids, right? And you put them in timeout for what they did, not for who they are.
Yeah,
that's a good analogy, Pat, and because that is exactly true. Because I can remember saying to my kids, just go sit down and let's think and think about what you did.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether they do or not, most of the time my kids would just play in the corner, but it was like, but it wasn't. I think the analogy is correct. And just take some time out to think about it. Yeah.
Exactly, and then really start recognizing what triggers you. It's important that you recognize what triggers you, because then you can start seeing, okay, this is coming. I can stop this in its tracks and I can go a different direction, right? And then the most important thing is to make connections with people. Don't be afraid to talk about what you're doing, what you're feeling, what's going on inside of you. Talk to people, find a group of people, a tribe who will understand. This is the place.
Right.
This is the place, ladies and gents. This is the place. Jump in here and use this community, but find a community where you feel safe, where you can talk about what's going on.
And reach out to us. Reach out to us.
Yeah. We're all in the same boat together. We're humans.
Today it's a Pat and Barb show.
I was looking at the show and was just reminding me of memories when we did that show. She just brought such just a knowledge and the wisdom that she was giving us. So I wanted to share that clip, and you'll be seeing other little clips. I am also going to make sure I bring Barbara on Ellis because she was one of her close friends. I was trying to bring her on today, but I know it was a little bit too much for her. She has other shows. She's doing other shows too. But I did tell her, I said, I'm going to play a clip from our show, from the Happiness Show Under the Diamond Factor tomorrow. I'm talking about today. And she's like, I'll watch it after I have my makeup off, because I know she didn't want to mess up her makeup, because I know she would have been crying. So I just please give her a lot of hugs and kudos to Barbara Ellis, because I know, it takes, especially when it's a close friend, it's going to take some time. But I'm so proud of Barbara, because a few days, you own it, you go through this, and this is something for everybody, not just, what I'm talking about with losing Pat, but anybody in your life. We are here. We're still here. They passed, they did their thing. They got on this earth and they just put their gifts and their genius out here so we can all be a part of it. And then, we pass, we go through the cycle of life. But then we have people that are friends and family that are still here. And we still need to move forward. And I always say, why don't we honor them? They left a legacy. we need to keep pushing with that legacy. That's why I don't mind showing the shows that we had together. I don't mind showing the tribute, because you want that to live on in people's hearts, because they work so hard. When you think about it, we all work individually, especially people that really want to see people move up, level up in the world. We work hard to put ourselves there, to tell our stories, so we can give the hope and the to show people that, hey, you can do this. I did it. I went through whatever, and you can do it. So when people pass, we want to keep that light, flowing in people's life. And I know Pat would want us to do that. So that's why I wanted to say so much kudos to Barbara Ellis, because she is moving forward. Her and Pat had a show that comes on every Wednesday. And she basically is still moving forward in it. She's having like a, what they call it, just because she was her co-host. So she's having different people come on to be her co-host. And you know what? Eventually, there might be somebody that wants to say, you know what, Barbara, I think I want to do this permanently with you. And she's doing kind of like interviews. I told her, I said, you got to interviewing people when you bring them on the show as like the co-host for the day. So it's interesting. And we all know that Pat would want her to move forward in the show, because it is helping so many people, especially in their business. So, just think about, you got to look at the bigger picture. And I always say that. You always got to look at the bigger picture. Even when, people pass away in your life, just think of the point that they would want you to continue on. Now, before I leave you today, we're going to be coming back. And I say, I'll see you Wednesday. But guess what? We started this month, this week. We are coming on 5 days out the week. Oh, yes. That means you'll see us tomorrow. You'll see us Wednesday. You'll see us Thursday. You'll see us Friday. Yes. And I'm just so excited because, there's going to be 2 new type of shows coming on Tuesday and Thursday. We're going to have more guests coming on, more interviews. You're going to see tomorrow. The Impact Hour is called the Impact Hour with Aneri. She is bringing it. She already sent me a video. She's told me some of the guests that she's going to have on. I mean, she is on it. She is on it. So I talked to her last week. We had her on just to give you just a little taste of what she's going to be doing. So you have to bring your friends, bring your family to see the show tomorrow. Let's give her a lot of love. This is her first show that she's going to be coming on tomorrow. So put it in your, where you got to put your cell phone, your iPad, your laptop, whatever it is. Put down 8:00 Central Time under the Diamond Factor Experience Show with Barbara Beckley. I know it's a mouthful. The show, The Impactor. Now, she's coming on for a whole hour. It's not going to be just a 25 to 30 minutes that you've been seeing with our other experts. She's doing a whole hour. So I know it's going to be, there's going to be some life changing in this. She's going to be doing some coaching. She's going to be talking about different things about, just moving forward in life, just a whole lot of stuff. I don't want to mess it up, but I just know that she's been talking to it with me. And I was like, oh, I can't wait. But I want to leave you with something because, talking about people affected in your life and moving forward. And I have this passages that I want to read. Life is about choosing, experience, learning, and choosing again. Never take life seriously. Life is about experiences, perception, and misperceptions. Focus on the now moment. Focus on the now moment. The experience. What did you learn? How do you feel? Did you make the world a better place? Did you take even one person's life and make it better? Even when things do not turn out as expected, it is a gift in disguise. You might not know this at this time. It might take years to see how God has woven his plan for you. Today, appreciate your failures and choose to learn something about yourself from the experience. Enjoy your life. And it's funny because usually this is a wonderful book from Mary Ellen that she sent me as my birthday. I want to put this up because this book, you need to buy it. Usually, I don't like sell, but this book, Taking Risks, Unleashing True Healing, she has so many good thoughts. This is what I just read. So, life is about choosing, experiencing, learning, and choosing again. So we, enjoy life, enjoy the moments of it, enjoy the seconds of it, because we only have one life. I mean, look at Pat. She was here for us for so long, but now she moved on. So we need to enjoy it. Whatever you're trying to do, we'll go there, your PPD, your purpose, passion, drive. What is it? It is so, that's why I'm so strong about that, because people need you and we need each other. We need our gifts and our genius to come out there and flow so we can enjoy life with each other. You all have a wonderful gift in you. We need to share it so we can move. We can do what we need to do. And you know what? Again, just like this Pastor said, hey, you might miss it sometime. There might be some failures here and there. Don't call them failures. Just call them stepping stones of strength, stepping stones of encouragement, stepping stones of a learning process. You're learning and growing. I don't care how old you get in life, you're always going to be learning. Once you shut that door from opening up your mind to learn new things, to grasp new things in your life, then that's shutting out life. Don't shut out life. It's very, 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 very important, because it's not just about you. It's about others that need you. And in this world where there's trillion, I said it the other day with Bear last week, he got to correct me and said billion, Barbara, I think it's billion. But let's just say there's a lot of people on this earth and this planet. Don't you think either one or two of those people would need you because of your gifts and your genius? Remember that. Remember that when you're going through the day talking about complaining or whatever like that. Always remember that you are a gift to this world. You make a difference. You matter. So with that, we will see you, I love to say this, on tomorrow, Tuesday, where Aneri is going to come and she is going to bring the impact. So that, tell everybody the Diamond Effect Experience Show with Barbara Beckley and friends and experts. I like to say that. So we will see you tomorrow. And remember, you have a diamond in you. Just let it shine for others, because others are looking for your genius and your gifts to move the world.